Hi, David again for ConcertBlogger.com. Today I have the great privilege to be sitting down with the Penny Serfs. Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How you doing? Great.
Let's start out by introducing yourself and what you do in the band.
I'm Andrew Leonard. I play bass and help Mike sing.
Okay.
I'm Stu. I play keys and pretend to sing.
Hang around.
My name's Mike and I play guitar and sing.
Okay.
My name's Kyle. I don't have a voice, and I play the drums.
Well, it's a good thing you play the drums. It'll be a real tough thing if you were the singer, I think. Well, we won't go into it too much today. But thanks for being here anyway, showing up and soldiering through.
We haven't counted in for the looks.
So, you guys, let's first talk about how you got together. I know you're from the Midwest, Iowa-ish, but you guys were involved in the music industry in different capacities and decided to form a band. How did that all come together? How did that happen?
Well, Kyle and I worked together for a couple of years on a tour where I was working with guitar and piano and he was working with drums. And we were just like, we have a lot of downtime. We should start, making songs.
So wait, you were working for another?
Yeah, we're basically like, a lot of people's day jobs are regular jobs, our day jobs are, working for larger bands.
Okay, I understand.
So I work on guitars, Kyle works on drums, Stu is a sound guy and audio guy as well as Andrew. And so Kyle and I were like, you spend a couple years with somebody working on a tour, you just, create a bond and you're like, hey, we should do music too, why not? And then we hooked up with a band called The National and met Stu, and then we just were like, another 2 years of work of being around each other. It was like, let's write a record, and do songs, and
let's do our own thing.
As soon as we're done, we're no more of the sidelines. We're gonna.
It's either. I guess it comes to a point in your life where it's either, are you going to be a support, or are you going to try to really live your dream and do the thing that you want to do? Or it's one thing to be around it all the time. It's okay. These are the kind of people I want to be around. This is the kind of lifestyle I want to live. But at some point, you have to do what's in your heart rather than what brings in the rent.
Agreed, and that's definitely, we've learned that with driving our 1989 Chevy Prisoners van.
Prisoners van,
still has the bars on it.
Oh really? Oh, that's awesome! It was a leftover? Oh, that's great! Yeah. That's perfect!
It's a great tour vehicle, but sitting in the back seat is a little frightening.
We don't have access to the front.
Yeah, there's the handles are gone on the inside.
Oh, glass window, so you peek through and talk to the front seat.
You're gonna bring one of those little punch things, one of those window punch, just in case there's a.
The windows are all barred.
Yeah, there's
oh, they're all barred. You can't even do that. Oh man.
No wrecks.
Oh, no wrecks. Gotta be careful out there.
Living dangerously.
Well, I think that's also part of what you get by being out on tour with a band is seeing the realities of what it's like to be a working musician in the United States today. I think that there's an ideal of what it is, and it's really work, man. It's really like you guys are out there. You really have to love what you're doing to go out and do it because it's so much work for so little reward.
Agreed.
Until you get to that point where you get that popularity, where you get whatever, and that you get your reward at that point. But most bands never even get there.
And even then, it's you have to give up a lot of things. We all have wives and girlfriends, and some of us have kids and kids on the way, and you have to be away from these people that are the most important people in your life to do what you really want to do, and hopefully they understand that it's your dream and support you in it. Thankfully, I think we're all pretty lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
Cool.
No in the water on that one.
But it wasn't a curse that said art is hard.
Art is hard. Art is hard. It is. Okay, so I guess we've gotten to a point where you've got a new album that's just come out within the last 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. Why don't you tell me about that, how it came together? Is this your first album? I believe it's your first.
Yeah, this is our first attempt, and we couldn't be happier about it. It all fell together. We recorded very quick, and it was in 2 sections. We did one in 1 day, and then in Champaign, Illinois, and then we did the other 3 in Atlanta with my friend Rick, and we did that 2 days. So we basically didn't spend much time recording. We wrote the songs and the first batch of songs in a day and recorded it the next day, and then the other 3 songs we wrote on tour. So it was a great experience to get us all in playing music and feeling what that's like.
Forming that band bond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of us do music on our own, but it's a different thing when you have 4 guys together creating different vibes, and you know, I would envision the song going some way, and then you hear this cool piano part, and you're like, oh shit, you know, this is where it needs to go.
Yeah.
The collaborative
side is a lot more fun.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's also cool seeing the songs kind of evolve as we play them live more and more too. They kind of take
things all of a sudden this part changes because it works better or whatever,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it becomes its own living
when
thing.
You know, to take it from the writing and studio point, it's kind of just an idea then, but it's like this fully formed living thing once it's out in the world, and it evolves.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So I do have to ask one question about the new album that I'm hoping I understand. It's entitled Like Eating Glass. Somehow that seems to me like a bad thing. I don't think I really want to eat any glass. Why that title? What does that mean?
I mean, it's not extremely complex. It's basically like, you know, I sort of have David Byrne approach to singing. Like, you know, I hope that people, you know, I'm no Beyonce or something.
I don't think you are. No, I don't think.
So, you know, I like when I listen to the demos or listen to my voice, it's like, you know, everybody. When you're a child, you know, holy shit, you know, this is my voice. It sounds weird. I don't like it. So I just, you know, like it feels like when I have to listen back and like, oh, is it good or do I like it? And just like eating glass here, you know, just get nervous.
Ah, interesting.
Weird, you know, feeling. So every time I play it, I'm like, oh.
That's so funny. That's very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Now it makes sense. It makes sense. As far as I was reading in your bio. Some of you, I know you mentioned David Byrne, but some of your influences that I can't pull up right at the moment. Ray Davies and John Lennon, and I thought it was interesting. Kurt Cobain and Ian MacKaye. What was the music like that you were surrounded by when you were a kid? What kind of stuff were you surrounded by? And was there a lot of music in your house? Were your parents into music, or was it?
I grew up with like nothing but oldies, Beatles all the time, and waking up to ABBA or salsa music on the weekends.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Well, that's not how to do chores. That's how they got me out of bed. Is just like crank the ABBA. All right.
Hey, who knew? Now look, the huge revival of ABBA and a big, huge hit on Broadway here in New York.
Oh yeah. All right.
Anybody else?
I mean, as far as, like, in my opinion, you know, John Lennon and Kurt Cobain are probably the 2 most talented songwriters of our, you know, American era of music. You know, even though John Lennon's British, but you know, he participated heavily.
Absolutely, it was absolutely American. It was a worldwide thing, exactly.
And I've always admired Ray Davies' songwriting. You know, and has this approach where everything's sort of dark, but the song sort of has light to where there's like this positive.
It's like a little poppy kind of thing going on, but it's a dark subject matter sometimes.
Working class problems and you know, struggles of everyday life. And I really like that. And with Kurt Cobain, you know, his vocal melodies are very, you know, like a friend of mine said, you know, it's almost like he has. Don't be mad at me, music aficionados. It's almost like a jazz approach to vocal melodies, because he'll come in and he does a very, very complex melody over sometimes very simple guitar. It's very music. Complex, considering how popular Nirvana became, and which is great to see that, you know, people like complex things still, not just the
basic same thing over and over.
One note singing and then drop a half step.